Hello, we're back. My PC decided to have a blue screen of for no reason. So, there's that. And my phone's at 41%, which means I gotta charge it. Otherwise, VTube Studios will also go because I don't use webcam. I'm not gonna set up the TTS pet. Alright, forgot that's still on. There we go. I'm not going to be using the TTS pet because I'll just be looking over at chat mostly. So we just gotta wait for Roblox to load, if it will. So give it a minute. I know it will. It's just gonna take a while. Unless I didn't double click it. I did not, apparently. Load! Load! Load. I know Phantom's gonna be here. At least I think so. Phantom! If not, then I'll just play one more Roblox game for the remainder. I'll wait for him. I'll wait for him, because we were in Weird Core. And I like Weird Core. Adam? You have been kicked due to unexpected client behavior? Leave? What do you mean? What? What? What do you mean due to unexpected client? What? Taskado manageado? What is going on, the Taskado manageado? Nothing. I have to relaunch the game. Weird. We are experiencing what's known as technical difficulties with the Roblox. Which is very odd. If it says it again, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, there it goes. Phantom! Okay, my game decides to crash every time. What is going on with Roblox today? Okay, we'll try this one again then, and see what happens. True, it is. Like I said, there's no TTS pet right now. Yeah, this is fine. This didn't kick me. Oh well. Um. But I like this one. I liked this one. This one had some really good vibes in it. So I can continue my rant. Whatever. Seems like it's working. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. We'll go to the blue room. We'll go back to that place we were just sitting. To the garden room. The garden room. Should be right here. Hey! Yeet. Phantom, is this you? Phantom, this is you in my chat? Oh, that's cool. Me and my best friend. But, anyways. As I was saying earlier, before we crashed, if we always got what we wanted, yeah, we finished that. But anyways, so yeah, that's one of the reasons why God doesn't just answer every single prayer in the world. Because, for example, right? World hunger. Yes, that is a problem. If God solved world hunger, that would mean something horrible. That would mean more cows. That would mean more pigs, more fruits, more vegetables. And that would mean a huge decrease in water, which means now he has to solve world thirst. And in order to solve world thirst, that means floods, too much rain, the ocean overflowing as well, right? If that's the case, then it's back to world hunger again, because crops are now dying because they're getting flooded. Animals are suffering because some of them can't swim. So it's either an overpopulation of one species or an overpopulation of the plant species, or none of them, and we just get a straight flood. The world is very delicate. It has a very, very delicate balanced ecosystem, from the animals that we eat to the tiniest of insects that we call pests. Even rats and mice have a reason to exist and balance the ecosystem. Worms have a reason to exist. You may not like them, but they have a purpose. Them digging holes in the ground allows for rain and water to slip inside their little tunnels. It allows plants' roots to have air to breathe. Trees give us oxygen by absorbing the carbon monoxide that we exhale. Even grass. Everything has a reason to exist in its own right. And if one species doesn't exist, the world would slowly crumble one after the other. Even parasites have a reason to exist. So it's really hard for God to be like, ah, yes, world hunger solved. And honestly, we're the ones, yeah, we're the ones that created the world hunger issues, right? We're the ones that created so many different problems. If you think about it, right? Back in the day, right? Way back when, before we got to where we are, we used to live in tribes of like 100 people maximum. Bare minimum was like 30, 40 people, and you would know everybody by name because you'd see them every day. You'd trust them not to kill you. You can go by to your neighbor, but like, hey, I just ran out of cow. You got some cow left over for me? And they'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't really give you any because I need to go hunting myself. I only got this little piece of jerky. But if you got some cloth, I'd be willing to trade it for with them. I'd be willing to trade my jerky for some cloth, because I gotta mend my clothes. My wife in my tent over here, is really good at mending clothing, but we don't have any materials. And that's how you would trade. It's like, all right, sure, here's some cloth, give me that jerky. That's before, and we're talking the times before money was a thing, before we came up with the currency. We used to trade goods for goods. You'd go up to your local farmer, hey, I need some milk. All right, I need some water from the well, to from the well a mile that way. All right, I'll get you the water, you get me the milk. All right, sounds like a deal. And that's how we existed. But then we decided to become more complicated than we needed to be. Things became complicated. It's like, yeah, you go down to the store and milk's like $40. I know that's not actually accurate, but it feels like it. We created a currency that's now destroying our economy. We created something that's now destroying us. And some people want to blame God for that. They're like, oh my God, God did this to me. The devil did that to me. No. A lot of things we did ourselves. And we need to take responsibility for what we've done. You got rid of an old you got rid of an old tradition, or at least revamped an old tradition, and now it's hurting us, right? The US is in debt to so many different countries, other countries are in debt to other countries. If we would have stuck with, I'll give you this for this, we would have been fine. We probably wouldn't have technology. We probably wouldn't have YouTubers. We probably wouldn't even have TV. But if we still lived in that time, we would have been fine. We would have been okay. Yeah, they had their own form of depression. They had their own form of loneliness and exhaustion. But at the same time, it wouldn't be as bad as it is today. 90%, and I'm telling you right now, at the very, not 90, about 50-60% of all United States Americans are either living in a poorest house that's run down, falling apart, and they can't fix it, or straight up out in the streets. And it's even worse for the people out in the streets because there's not that many homeless shelters that can accept so many. There's only so many people they can hold before they say, sorry, we're full. We can't have you here for the night. And now that person's stuck in the street. If he goes anywhere, to a park, to a bench, to any place that looks like it's an okay spot to sleep, he'll be told by police officers, hey, you don't have to go home, but you can't sleep here. You're basically telling him, hey, you can't sleep. Hey, you have to keep walking. Because he doesn't have a home to go to. He doesn't have a shelter to go to. And if he tries to tell that, it's like, oh, you're talking back to an officer, eh? It's awful. Granted, I know there's like a small handful of good cops that'll understand and probably tell him, alright, I'll leave you be for now then. Just try not to stay here for the whole night. But at the same time, it's only a small handful of good people out there. So like I said, we created these problems. If we would have just stuck with, I'll give you this for this, great. And not to mention modern medicine. Back in the day, before we had modern medicine, where the only thing we had that would quote-unquote help us was snake oil, we'd only live to be 30, 40 years old before some illness really killed us. We didn't get to live to be like 80, 90, 100 years old. But now we can, with modern medicine. Hi, Mr. Figure. I'm sorry, I was expecting the TTS pet to go off, but I forgot I don't have it activated right now. I could activate it for you guys. Let me activate it for you guys, so that way... Nice. I could activate it so that way you guys can have exclamation point SFX. So I'll give you a second to do that. Let me just copy this. Well, oh, welcome to the channel. Usually we play games. Usually I play games, we have fun and do things, but today is more like a Q&A and rant. So you ask, basically, you just ask questions whenever you want to, whenever you feel like, but I'll be usually ranting in the meantime, you know? Truly. Truly. Hashtag free schlep. Look, you could say that here all you want, by the way. You could say that all you want. I won't disagree. I will not disagree. As a matter of fact, I will fully 100% agree with that. 100% free schlep. If you thought I was gonna get mad at that, you'd be dead wrong, buddy. Don't mind that. That's just something I
Hi.
need. There we go.
I burped. Oh, I'm new. Hashtag free schlep. What again? Question.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, no, I fully agree with free schlep. Free schlep completely from Roblox. But
I went to a bathroom and I heard an atomic bomb.
atom bomb, baby. Atom bomb.
A
Anyways.
fart.
But anyways, so back before modern medicine was a thing, the human life expectancy was about 30, 40 years, right? And then you just from a disease or whatever illness or old age, whatever. So the human population was always controlled at a small amount maybe by 100,000, maybe by 1 million, but the our planet was able to keep up with that. But now it really can't. And more people are growing up.
Wait a minute. Is that cat ears?
Yes, yes they are. To fully explain, no, I don't identify as female. I am male. The model I am using is the mascot of the channel. That's what it is. It's like wearing a mascot suit. It's like going to a football game that you see as somebody in a costume that's acting as the mascot. That's what it is. No, I'm not. Yeah, yeah. I don't identify as
Oh,
female. I don't identify as female. No, I'm not saying this is my whole identity, this and that. No, I'm male. This is a mascot for the channel. That's it. It's like the face of the channel. I don't like getting political either. I'll talk about religious stuff here and there if you believe. If not, that's okay. That's what we're kind of on about, Mr. Figure. You can stick around if you like, and if not, understandable, respectable. But like I said, you can ask questions about me if you want. But in the meantime, I'll be ranting. That's why it's called Q&A and rant and Roblox, because we're just gonna be sitting here on the swing set in Roblox for a while. Because honestly, I feel like I need to take a little step back.
oh, I gotta eat breakfast.
All right, you enjoy your breakfast. Have a good morning. Good morning. But yeah, so with modern medicine and technology and all kinds of other things, the human life can expand up to.
Do you play Forsaken?
I've heard of it. I haven't played it yet. I've seen it. I don't know if I'll like it yet. I might play it next stream or next week. I don't know. I got a few things planned for this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, I just have a few things planned this weekend, so I can't really be like, "Oh, I'll play it next stream." I can play it most likely next week. If on a scale of 1 to 10, Mr. Figure, how badly do you want me to play Forsaken?
okay, bye. I gotta eat breakfast and play War of the Worlds.
All right, fair enough, but before you go,
War of the Worlds.
nah, Forsaken. I was asking Forsaken. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want me to play Forsaken since you brought the game up? Because if you really want me to play, I will. I will next week, and I will promise you that. I might forget, so I'll need reminders. I'll be willing to give it a try. I'm always willing to try new games and new things on Roblox and other games too, like on
I,
Steam. Fair enough.
I'm New Skull.
Oh, that's fine. Basically, if I ask on my channel, right? Anybody's welcome to recommend a game, especially if it's a Roblox game. You are 100% welcome. You are 100% to express how badly you want me to play it, and I'll gladly play it. If you really want me to, I will be happy to play it for you. I'd be honored to have you watch me play it, you know? Every single viewer means a lot to me.
Yay.
Yeah. But anyways, you said you gotta go eat and play World of War of the World. So you go have fun with that, and I hope you subscribe and check me out again. You know, come by as every so often. But yeah, With new technologies and modern medicine, we're gonna have more problems. The world's gonna be more and more hungry. The world's gonna go through more and more debt. The world's gonna go through a lot of chaos. And it's gonna be to a point where nobody can afford anything with money, and we might end up going back to how things were. I'll trade you this for that.
If you ever play with me just warning, my friend might get sus, but I tell him to stop.
We don't mind sus stuff here, as long as it's not, like, NSFW inappropriate. Like saying, take this off, take that off, you know? Stuff like that. Or, I'm going to R-word you. I'm going to do things without consent kind of things. You know, we don't do that here. What we do say is, jiggle the booba, jiggle the booba. Yeah, we don't mind sus, just as long as you don't take it too far, you know? Sus jokes are welcome. Just as long as it's not too far. As you can see, exclamation SFX.
Oh.
Yeah, exclamation point SFX just plays random sounds.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, it's just a soundboard. So if you do exclamation point SFX, it's one of the commands. It plays a random sound in the soundboard. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. Everybody loves it, and you can use it too if you sub. I think it only works for people who sub though. So you gotta subscribe. You gotta subscribe.
Does it play memes?
If I have the sound file into it, yeah, it will. I gotta put like everything into. I gotta put all the sounds into a folder, and then put that folder into its program, and then it'll play it. I know I have a few memes in there already. I have a few Minecraft movie memes.
Okay, now actually GTG.
Alright, bye. I hope you enjoyed your stay. But anyways, as I was saying, with how everything has been and the world population growing more and more, we're going to have more and more problems. Work is already hard enough to find, right? Now work is going to become basically impossible for the new
Nope.
generation. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The new gener the new generation is going to go through a harder and harder time to get jobs to a point where it's impossible. And the current people working will never want to leave their job. They never want to retire out of fear that they're going to run out of money with how expensive things are. People are going to want to work till the day they die because they can't retire. Yeah, when my grandmother was young, yeah, sure, you could easily walk into a barber shop, right? You could just walk into a barber shop and be like, "Hey, boss, got any work for me?" And they're going to tell you, "Pick up that broom, start sweeping." And at the end of the day, they're like, "All right, good job. Here's $1. Come back tomorrow." You'd work for like 8 hours, 8 hours, and then they tell you, "Come back tomorrow. Here's your first payment. Expect it next week." And that $1 was more than enough, right? That $1 literally got you coffee for a dime. You'd have change. You could buy a whole house, with 20 acres of land for $20. And people did that, right? People actually bought houses like that. So if you had $100, if you took $100 in our time, went back in time, and be willing to not show or not bring any technology with you, right? Once you go back into that time, right? You are basically leaving everything else behind because you have to, because you can't screw up the timeline. But if you did take that $100 with you and went that back in time, you are then a billionaire to them. You are a billionaire. You are the richest motherfucker they have ever seen. And they'll praise you like a god. Some of them might pretend to be your friends. Some of them will be like, Mister, please, can I have Can I have $1 out of your 100? Surely you can spare a couple of nickels. But you don't. But yeah, with how everything is becoming more and more expensive, I feel like money will one day just be absolutely useless. What's the point of having this if the prices are going to go up? People are going to be like, oh yeah, you can buy a house for a cow because I need my milk. Okay, cool. You lose the cow, but you got a house. You got a place to stay. Great. And that's just how time that's just what's going to happen as time goes on. More things are going to become more difficult to get. And sometimes I wish we did still live in that time where we were in a tribe, where we could trade goods for goods. Imagine that in modern time, though. Imagine that idea in modern time. You want a PC? Alright, give me these items. Okay, cool. You get the items, and you get a PC. You want PC parts? Okay, you gotta cough up some items. Cool. Some people might ask for a screwdriver. To get a screwdriver, you gotta give a needle. In order to get a needle, you gotta give some thread. In order to get some thread, you have to give some cloth. Yes, it's a trading line, but it worked. It was complicated, it was messy, but it worked. Alright? Nobody had to worry about the prices. Nobody had to worry about gas being 5, 6, 10, $20 for premium or for regular. It's just it's just sad how everything is, you know? And as much as people pray to God to fix it, he really can't. Because if he fixes one problem, another one becomes worse. Granted, you can pray for your life to be better, yes. And it may not happen instantly. You may not notice the small things that improved your life, but it's there. You can pray and ask for God to take your stress and your anger, your frustration away. And he can. He can do that because that's improvement of your life. That's quality of your existence. You may not notice it right away, but as time goes on, it does get fixed. At least in my belief. In my belief, it that's what happens. And I can understand a lot of people who used to believe don't believe because their parents would always scream and yell, if you do this and that, these and those, you will be sent to hell. God will not love you. And that is called negative reinforcement to me. People need that positive learning. That's negative learning. You're being taught by fear. You're being taught to fear him, not love him. You're being taught like he's a ruthless leader. He's gonna do this to you and he's gonna do that to you. And that's not positive at all. That's full blown negative. In my belief, in my understanding, it's like this, right? We're humans. He knows we're gonna make mistakes. He expects us to make mistakes. But as long as we pray for forgiveness, we tell him, I know not if I've sinned. Please forgive me for I am still learning. I am nothing but a mere human. You know, this and that. Just explain. Talk. Let him know. Like, hey, I might have messed up. I don't know if I did. I don't know if I've offended you. I'm still learning. And I will always still be learning. So forgive me. Amen. And he will. He will absolutely forgive you. Now, is he going to forgive a killer for killing somebody? Depends. Was it his first time? If it was, what was his reason? Was it a fight or flight situation? Did he have no choice? It all depends. If a person did it just because they wanted to kill, yeah, they're not going to be forgiven. Exactly. They're just a clown show. They can ask for forgiveness all they want. They're not going to get it. If you killed somebody with a full intention to kill somebody because you wanted to kill somebody, yeah, you're not going to be forgiven. It's not right. And then you kill again and then ask for forgiveness. Why? Phantom, that's like me going up to you, slapping your back, right? That's like me slapping you hard on your back. But I had a reason, right?
Is
And
this therapy?
it basically is. If I slapped you hard on the back, Phantom, and I told you there was a mosquito on your back, you're gonna be like, okay, don't slap me as hard next time, and you're gonna forgive me, right? I had the intention to slap you, but that's because I had a reason to. But if I slapped you in the back and you looked at me and said, "Ow, what was that for?"
Oh,
and I told you, "Oh, I just felt like it," you're not gonna forgive me right away. Even if I said sorry, I just felt like it. You're not gonna forgive me. You're gonna question.
indeed.
You're gonna question why, and then the next day I do it again just because. You're not gonna forgive me. Matter of fact, you're gonna leave me. If we were friends and I did that to you twice, you're gonna be like, "You're not my friend anymore. You're just physically hurting me at this point. I'm done. I'm not playing your games anymore." And you leave. That's how God sees it, right? You do something bad intentionally multiple times. Why should he forgive you? He shouldn't, and he won't. And that's understandable. But if you really don't know what you did wrong and you ask for forgiveness, he'll forgive. It's like, all right, try to understand this situation next time and try not to misbehave again. And it's understandable. It's respectful.
I farted and the toilet exploded.
me, me after Taco Bell. Me when the Taco Bell kicks in. But yeah, it's all about positive learning. It's all about positive learning. Matter of fact, there is some proof for a lot of people who are hardcore non-believers that no matter what I say, no matter what I try, they will never believe, and that's okay. However, for those people who don't believe but are open-minded to a factual understanding to believe, like, hey, if you can prove God exists, I'll start believing kind of people. Here's a good example. In the Bible, it says there was a king. Basically, I'm making it simple. In the Bible, it says, hey, there was this one kingdom that was so full of sin, full of carefree people that intentionally sinned with kidnapping and non-consensual actions and other things, right? This happened. So God sent a plague to destroy the kingdom. And he told the people, for those who did believe in him, that if you want to be saved, use sheep's blood to put an X on your door, on your entryway, so you will be saved. And some of the people did it without realizing why. They don't know why he said that. They don't know what his true reasoning. But once he did it at midnight, the plague came in, right? It was airborne. And all the people got sick. They had perished. Well, years later, scientists have found that sheep's blood, and keep in mind, the reason it wasn't just airborne, it was also with mice.
I found a stick and it looks like a gun.
Nice.
A stick.
Bang, bang,
What?
bang, bang, bang. Stick gun. But people didn't know that sheep's blood was a repellent for pests, for insects and pests alike. It's like an insect repellent and pest repellent. The smell of it was gross and metallic. That these creatures were more sensitive to the smell than us humans would have been. So with that said,
That one spot.
but they didn't know that. They just thought it was a blessing from God telling them, "Hey, do this and you will be blessed." But the reality of it was there was some scientific reason. I don't know the full science behind it, but to my basic knowledge of it, it was basically a repellent, and that's all I know. And so those people were saved, and guess what else? I'll wait for the TTS to go off. Yes. Yes, little
I
TTS.
swear I didn't found a apple and threw it at the door and got detention.
Me for real. But anyways, um, years later, archaeologists had, and keep in mind that very same kingdom crumbled.
Found.
I think you're looking for the word find. I didn't find.
Found skull.
I think the word you were looking for was find, buddy.
My spelling.
Hey, your spelling versus the TTS speech. So, it spoke how it was meant to be. That's a good side. Downside, your spelling. Upside, it knew what you were saying. So hey, a little good, a little sunshine in my life. But anyways, archaeologists had found bits and pieces of that kingdom that crumbled, and what they have discovered was, indeed, people died from a disease. They died from plagues. They found rats' bodies. They found skeletons of rats and mice and
How is
other
a
things.
rise so shiny?
Oh, thank you.
When zoomed in.
Uh, yes, I have a very good artist. I have a very good artist who made this. I didn't make this model or that TTS pet. I have an artist that did it who goes by Potato Plays. She's the one that made everything. But not the program. The program I had to buy on a website. On itch.io.
BTW, not Triz. I just said.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I know. It's what I like to understand is it's paying attention to detail. That's what it is. You notice detail and you said, "Oh, let me pay attention to that real quick." Okay. So if you so there's my proof right there. Kingdom collapsed because of a plague. Years later, archaeologists dug up a little bits and pieces of that fallen kingdom and found bodies of rats and other problematic creatures that carried diseases. So the fact that the Bible talked about that happening and archaeologists being like,
That was easy.
it's real. That sure was easy. It's easy to discover.
8% battery. I'll stay until 0%.
All right, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. So with that said, I mean, whether or not if you're a person who doesn't believe but wants to believe, you just need evidence. There's one evidence. You know, kingdom collapsed from the plague that the Bible talked about. Years later, archaeologists found out that it's indeed what happened to that exact kingdom. And another thing that had happened was Stephen Hawking. Right? The world's smartest
Plague?
man in existence. Yeah. The world's smartest man who ever lived, right? He's the one who did all the science.
SCP-049 Plague Doctor.
He discovered so many things about the world because he wanted to prove that there was no God. That was his whole thing.
The
Nether.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You can keep doing it, dude. You're not bothering nobody. You're having a good time. That's what matters. Dude, what matters is having a good time. That's the whole point of the channel. To have fun, have a good time. Whether it be the games we play or just me ranting. I want to make sure you all have fun. Because if you're having fun, I'm having fun. And that's the point. So go ahead, keep going. If I didn't like it, I would have turned it off to begin with. So, there you go.
I'm undefined / new.
Hey, you're good. You're good. Like I said, doesn't matter. If I don't want the sound effects, I would have turned them off. Trust me. I expect people to just go in here and be like, oh, let me just have fun with this. And just run with it. So go ahead. Have your little fun. Go ahead, Mr. Figure. Have fun. That's what we're here for. The swing. Yeah, you're right.
The swing.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, there you go. What's it gonna say? Knock, knock. There you go. See? Have fun with it. Have fun with it. There's no reason not to. Don't worry about getting me upset. You ain't. Trust me. But as I was saying, Stephen Hawking, right? The world's smartest man. He wanted to prove that a god never existed. He wanted to prove that God didn't exist, but at the end, before he
What
died,
was that? It sounded like my brother.
No, not the gnome, not the
Hello, me old
gnome.
chum. I'm
I'm not a
not a
gnome.
gnome.
I'm
I'm
not
not
a
a goblin.
I'm a gnome.
I'm a gnome, and you've been
gnomed. See, we're all here to have fun. Even Phantom knows. Phantom's been here for a good bit, so he knows that we have fun with the SFX. Chica's gonna get you. Run, run, run. But anyways, so before Stephen Hawking finally died, his final words were, maybe there is a god. Because after all, you can't have something from nothing. Oh, that's true. There's the Big Bang, right? Everybody says, oh, we had nothing. There was no universe, there were no space, there were no stars, there were no planets. There was a nothing. And now, suddenly, we have a universe.
Can I join you?
Oh, yeah, you could join us. You could join us. Just look up Dream Core. Or actually, no, this is called Weird Core. This world is called Weird Core. So yeah, you can definitely join us. I'm sure it'll throw you in the same lobby with us, without needing to look us up. But anyways.
Are a user?
Oh yeah, true. There you go. Here it is. There you go. By the way, this is how big the chat box is. I just like to cut it to make it shorter and simpler. Like this. See? It's much better, isn't it? But anyways.
Put it on chat.
What do you mean put it on chat? Oh, put it in chat? Type out my user? I don't think I can do that real quick. I could try. Give me a second. There you go. That's the
Girl
Roblox
Chan.
user.
Green or Rula?
Green or Ula? What do you mean? Green or Ula? Like those are the names that pop up because
First.
But yeah, after all that, Stephen Hawking had said, yo, I think God basically does exist.
Look up Jeff Wayne War of the Worlds. Then search Hulk.
I'll do that later. But anyways, so at the end, right? Stephen Hawking basically explains and that maybe there is a God. And to my knowledge, to everything we know about science, right? Science always says something has to give to get something in return. Be it an atom or something else.
Okay, I'm a join.
Evolution had to come from something. For animals to evolve and this and that. Right? Everything had to come from something else. as time went on. So, if there was nothing in our world, right? If nothing ever existed, then how did we get the Big Bang from nothing? How do we go from nothing to a Big Bang? How do we go from nothing to a universe? How do we go nothing from the blue oceans, the blue skies, all that? How did we get here if there was nothing? When all we know about science is that something had to make it happen. Well, simple answer, God. He made everything. And that's the something that created everything. It's really weird when you think about it, you know? And also for those who always and for those people who say, well, if God knows everything, he actually doesn't,
Wonderful!
right? God doesn't really know everything. He can expect this and that. He can be like, ah, yes, I expected you to trip on that tree. But what if you didn't? What if he expected you to trip on a branch and somehow you didn't? Then it's like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. Oh, well, now I see a new expectation to happen. It's not that he knows everything in the world. I mean, he knows certain events that's gonna happen, but he doesn't know what's gonna happen in each person's life. Like that would be difficult. To know what's going to happen in each person's life means there's a way to fix what's gonna happen. Which means there's lessons there he knows you're gonna learn and lessons you're not gonna understand. I'm sorry to go full biblical out here and full religious mode. I never really do this because I'm uncomfortable talking about it. Because I don't know if anybody will stick around or if anybody actually wants to hear it or not. Or if anyone's going to come and be like, no, that's not true, that's not true, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going to, I guess I don't want to, like, expose too much, because otherwise I will shut down, you know? And I don't want to shut down. I don't want to mentally shut down and just, like, alright, I guess that's where things are, okay. And just leave it be, you know? I want you guys to just enjoy. And if you don't want to hear anymore, let me know. Let me know. Stop me. Just be like, hey, that's enough learning. I don't want to hear anymore. I'll respect it and understand it. But yeah. And also, some advice. Changing the subject, some advice. Life is always going to have problems. But where there's problems, there's always a solution. You may not see it. You may not know it. But a solution's there. Oh my god, a reset. And it's hard to find that solution. It's difficult. But it's there. You just need to find it. You know? You gotta find the solution. You gotta solve your own problems. And it's okay to ask for help and advice for those problems. But in the end, if you're not the one solving it, who is?
Lego is always the solution.
Lego's good for relaxation. Legos is good to help you calm down, relax, de-stress. But it's not a true fix. It's not a true solution. It's not a permanent resolve. It's a temporary break. You gotta find true resolve, true solutions to everything. If you're, for example, you ran out of a blue crayon. You don't have any blue crayons, but you know the two colors to make blue. So what do? You mix the two colors to make blue. Solution solved. Until you can go to the store and buy more crayons. It's honestly just really, really weird how life has so many problems and sometimes not enough solutions to people, even though it's right there. life is gonna be difficult. And people will always say, "Oh, it gets better. It gets better." But the people who say it gets better expects you to find ways to make it better. So, let me tell you this. Life will not get better if you do not put in the effort, if you do not put in the time, if you do not put in the work to take a certain amount of breaks when needed, you know? And you can't take too many breaks because that's just called unmotivated. You gotta find your motivation. You gotta find your drive. You gotta find what powers you. A PC gets power from electricity. A person gets power from, well, inspiration. You want to be an artist, so you learn how to draw. You go through the steps. And now suddenly you can basically recreate the Mona Lisa if you felt like it. There's some people that are that good. But what if you don't want to do that? You want to be an artist, but you don't want to go that far. Okay. Learn cartoon sketch. That's what your resolve is. You'll just learn how to draw basic cartoon doodles, like Odd Ones Out kind of style. Good enough, right? You're happy with it, and that's all that matters. You had a problem, you found a resolve, and you worked towards the solution. And now your life is better. And that's okay. It's okay to do stuff like that. Sometimes the easiest way out is a good route. However, it's not always the case. You gotta know when and where to use the easy way. Sometimes the easy way required more steps, and it becomes a harder way. So you ignore it. And the hard way sometimes feels like the most easiest. However, it has more work into it, but less parts. Less parts to use, less manuals to read. However, requires more physical labor. But it's easier. You just gotta decide for yourself, you know? Don't let everybody decide for you. Try to think for yourself every now and again. Be like, I want a Hot Pocket, but there is no Hot Pockets. I know. I'll look up how to make it from scratch. Will it taste better? I don't know. But I'm gonna make it. I did that. I made my own pizza with nothing but bread slice, tomato sauce, cheese, and some pepperoni, not pepperoni, salami slices. Put it in the air fryer till the cheese was melty, and I called it a pizza. I called it a day. I wanted pizza, I made my own, and I was happy. That's all it takes. A little bit of effort, a little bit of an attempt, and a lot of hard work and determination goes a long way. Anyways, chat, I think I'm officially gonna end it here. This was mostly just ranting. I need to get off to go get something to eat. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for listening to me to rant.
That was easy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to me rant a little here and there. It means a lot, you know? Being able to rant means so much to me.
No problem.
I don't really have people I can rant to, and I don't really like ranting on my channel, because I don't know how you guys feel about it. But if you like more rants with Grill, let me know. Let me know, and I will gladly rant some more. And in case you guys are wondering, I got Killing Floor 2 to finally work. In case you watched my short, I got it to work. There was a lot of steps to do it, but I did it. With that said, like and subscribe, share with friends, turn on that bell notifications. We rarely do rants. I'll try to do them more frequently. I'll try to do them like once in a while. But yeah, if you're new here, we usually just play games and have fun. We don't usually get this personal and ranting, but when we do, it's deep. So yeah, stick around, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye, everybody!